Good afternoon, well, it's afternoon for me. How you guys doing? Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Raw Focus. My name is Jeremy. Jeremy Liu. I'm a photographer, dad, entrepreneur, and right now I'm a podcast host. So I appreciate you guys joining me today as we introduce another episode. It's April 21st now. We're still in quarantine. The governor is going to be announcing something today for us in Nevada, so hopefully we can get back to work on the 1st, but I don't know. There's some inklings that we might not. The second round of PPP is going to get signed through the new stimulus, so we're excited about that because I didn't get the first round. And really, life is just kind of slow right now with weddings, with bookings, with all that. So the podcast has been helping a lot, and we've been learning. So we're kind of continuing with the wedding side of it because I have a DJ on here, Jerod A, who is a good buddy of mine now, who I met a few months ago at some meetings for weddings. So a bunch of vendors get together, we chat, we talk, we learn about venues in each other, kind of like a BNI, but for weddings. So it works out really well to get referrals. So we're going to talk to him. We talk about his musical career. He's from Napa originally, lives here now, has a couple kids. And we just kind of learn his passion of music. He is a DJ, and I really want to get some knowledge on what we're going to expect or what these DJs think that we're going to expect from weddings coming up in the future, right? Because things are going to change. Like, what are we going to have to do when weddings show up? Are we going to have to scan everybody's temperature? Are we going to have to wipe down mics? Are we allowed to touch mics? Are we wearing masks the whole time? Are we allowed to dance close to each other? What are we expecting to do? So that's kind of a really interesting conversation. We also talk about health, diet, fitness. He's had some ups and downs, and he's doing a workout now with Beachbody and eating better. So I like to see that because I like seeing that people are using this downtime to kind of enhance themselves a little bit more. So that's kind of where we're at with this one today. We don't really have much going on in the world of me. I'm booking weddings right now. I'm still emailing clients. I'm still working every day. I have this amazing shirt on, which if you're watching the podcast, you can't see, but it says I'm Essential, made by my good buddy John over at Trifusion LLC. I don't have any sponsors yet, but he's the closest thing to it. So I've been wearing his stuff just to kind of promote another small business if I can. And that's it, guys. Please subscribe, please rate, please share. Thank you so much for joining Raw Focus. Without further ado, here's Jerod A. Can you hear me now?
Hey, I see you and hear you. You're
What's
pretty.
up, buddy?
Hey, living the dream. Man.
That's all that matters.
I tried to make it like so you can see the piano and all that in the background. Make it all.
It looks good. Yeah, no, it looks awesome. I know. I don't know if anybody even like really with the virtual backgrounds. I don't know if anybody even like cares what their background is anymore.
Right? I know. You could be anywhere doing anything.
Right.
It's like I see some of those other ones you've been doing. I think was it Eric at Epic? Every time I see him, he's got the tropic. I'm like, oh,
right.
I really want to
when he did this with me, we just did. I think he just did his office, and so I actually we just saw his office, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like that looks cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like the setup though. That's your office right there, isn't it?
This is my office. Yeah. So we built this is a 3rd-car garage. So we built a 3rd-car garage office. So I had somebody come in, lift the floors, heating, air, and then really just kind of built around, put a window in the back. So that's like my wife would park right there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So it works out pretty well. I mean, it's we needed an extra room for the girls, and that's how we made it happen.
Sweet.
Yeah, what you up to, man?
Working my day job.
Wait, is there a day job? What's a day job?
So I work for a company called Legal Match. It's an attorney-client matching service. It's a .com.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's how I pay the bills, especially during this time. So
I'm glad you have that right now.
It's funny because here I was getting ready to really try to launch and go full-time.
Right.
And I was ready to take that literally within probably 4 to 6 weeks of this pandemic. And I was like, thank you that I still have my job.
Oh my God. Crap. So yeah, I mean that's yeah, everything kind of happens for a reason, which is good.
Right.
And normally I always tell people like jump for it, like go for it and just see what happens and that's how but like, that would have been horrible advice at that time because we didn't know this was going to happen at all.
Yeah, I thought my whole plan was literally to wait till like wedding season kicked off right around Memorial Day, and
Right.
then just never look back. And I'm thankful to have my
Right.
paycheck.
I think once this all kind of winds down and everybody kind of gets back to normal, a good 2021 goal, that might be where you're at with that.
Totally.
But yeah, and there's nothing wrong with having a day job. Like, I mean, I did massage and photography for a while, and even that I was a food server while I was doing both. And it just got to a point where I didn't have to anymore. But now I'm working more than I've ever worked in my entire life. So like, is that a good trade-off? It's one of those things that you always kind of deal with, but it's been nice.
Yeah, I like it. I like the fact that, and like for me, since I'm not in like photography, there's no
Mm-hmm.
post for me. I don't have to post production. When I close down, I'm done.
Yeah.
I go
Right.
home. I have a lot of pre-planning, which I think every vendor does, but
Right.
probably like a food vendor too. When you're done, you're done. But you're the one that gets your work's just beginning.
Right. And that's, my wife's the same way, right? She does hair and makeup. So we talk about this all the time, but like she gets to go to a wedding and, she does all the pre stuff, sets everything up. And then when she's done with the wedding, she's done and she gets to bail. So she can schedule something like the next day or something like that and not have to worry about it, where my scheduling is all about like, I have to schedule out like my editing time and all that. But yeah, it does allow you to do other things on the side, right? It allows you to, Saturdays I can't because I DJ Saturday nights. But any other day I can totally book whatever and not have to worry about that back end.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's for me it's all the prep into it, making sure that we stay fluid all the way too. And then, literally when I'm loading my truck to go home, I'm going home.
Right.
Outside sending hey, I hope everything went well. Hit me, shoot me a great review on the knot or something like that. But
Right.
Other than that, it's
that's all we care about is them reviews.
That's it. So, well, it's funny because I refused for years to do any of that stuff, and
Why?
it was word of mouth. I didn't want to pay money. I didn't want to put my
Oh, but you don't need to pay for those services to get reviews, though.
No, I was getting reviews on my Facebook and stuff, but for the knot,
Right.
I wasn't even there. Like I didn't even exist.
Oh, yeah. I don't pay for the knot, but I have somebody reviewed me, so it created an account for me automatically, kind of like Yelp. And then Wedding Wire I was with for a while. I have like over, oh my God, like 400 reviews on Yelp. Only 26 show up that says they're legit, and the rest are not. So I hate Yelp. And then Wedding Wire, I have like about 100 or so, but I don't pay for the service. It's just free, So if you ever leave them or not pay for that, just know that your reviews aren't going anywhere.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a 1 year on it and got a heck of a deal. And basically I used it to get up there and get out there. So,
well, now that they're now that the Knot and Wedding Wire are together, they have some more deals.
I caught that earlier in this year.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we're really trying to pump this. And so I jumped on it.
Yeah. I mean, nothing wrong with it as long as it makes you some money. I got mad at them after a while of, not hearing anything. And, for me, it's just that test. I know everybody's different. I know some people go on there like, I make all my money on Wedding Wire and the Knot. I'm like, cool. Like I couldn't even book one wedding for an entire year. So I'm out. Like I just can't do it. Jerod, how do you say your last name?
Aragini.
Aragini.
So it's like from Aladdin, like you are a genie.
Genie. Genie. R. Let's do A-R.
Like you're a pirate.
A genie. A genie.
It's like Ebonics for.
Oh my God, I have to write it. Like I wrote A-R and then A and then genie.
I kid you not. I've worked with enough people that I've had to teach. I'm like, how do you say your last name? It's Aragini. It's like
I know because I want to say like Araguini.
Well, the Italian. Okay, so there's a little history there. The Italian is Araguini. Okay?
Right. So yeah, like linguini.
Yeah, it sounds like something from like Olive Garden. But for me, as a like third grader, I couldn't like nobody could say that. My teachers are botching it. And I remember in third grade, my teacher, Miss Sample, that was her name. And she's like, how do you say your name? And out of the blue, I just changed it to
Oh,
Aragini.
so
And
it's not Argini.
the Italian is Araguini. But
Right.
yeah, I was like, nope, and it's actually kind of a made up last name. So when my dad came over from Italy, they added an I to make it more Italian
Oh.
in the late 60s. So
Do
yeah,
they, I mean, does your family think it's weird? Like, do they, like, when somebody says your
no,
last name and you're like, that's not how it's said. Like, what are you doing?
I have no connection to my original roots. So
Oh,
yeah, so the only Araginis are pretty much me and my children. So there's a few
and
folks
they say it the same way, Argini?
totally. So, which is great. Now they get to teach everybody the right way to say it. Or
Right.
yeah, I created to say it.
I think that's just how, like, even with like us Asians, like my last name is, everybody says Lou and I say Lou, but it's Lo. But I can't really tell people how to do that. So we just say Lou. My dad's always been like that too.
You just give up and you're like, okay, this is
Yeah.
the
Well,
easier way
that's
to
all he told me. And one day somebody's like, oh, your last name's Lou? And I'm like, no, it's Lou. And they're like, it's pronounced Lou. And I'm like, okay. And then I had to look it up. And then I was like, oh shit,
go.
my dad this whole time. And my dad actually, like, his first name is Hua, which is Hoa, right? So his whole name was Hoalu. So 5 letters total. And so he would, instead of having people call him Hua, he would just call himself Lou. So basically they thought his name was Lou
That's great.
the whole time, because he did Nails. So Nails by Lou. People call him, hey, is Lou there? And I didn't put it together, but they're like, your dad's name's Lou. And I'm like, no, it's just because you white people can't say his first name. So he got bored and he just told you his last name is his name.
Well, it's simpler, yeah. Just
Yeah.
go.
That's just how it is. All right, Jerod. So how this works is, I don't know if you've been listening to these, but basically the live part is not really what I'm focused on.
Okay.
I just want to talk to you. Normally I have a bunch of notes. For you, these are my notes. And the reason is I just met you a couple months ago, right? 2 or 3 months ago. And I know very little about you. I know that you're a DJ. We've done something planned. We've gone to meetings, and I see you once, twice a month. And you're an interesting guy, but I don't know much about you. And same, I'm sure that you just know me through social media. So I really want to kind of learn about you in this hour that I have with you. So we're going to go on live. It's you can say whatever you want, cuss, hang out, drink. If you have to go to the bathroom, let me know. But really, this is just a conversation between us.
Nice.
I'm not looking at the numbers of live. I just put it on live so that I can promote the podcast, which is called Raw Focus. And yours will come out in about 2 whole months. So it'll be a while till yours actually shows up.
Right.
But of course, the live will be up there so you can post and share. I do want you to talk about business. I do want you to talk about life. And I do want you to promote whatever you want to promote naturally. So don't feel like you're, pimp yourself out as much as you can, because that's kind of why we're here right now. And then, if you have questions for me, always more than welcome to ask. But I'm going to get this started. What have you been doing besides the day job? I mean, are you still promoting yourself? Are you kind of waiting until the first?
I'm still out there a little bit. I'm not pumping myself that hard right now. Right now, I'm making sure that my weddings that I've already booked haven't totally ghosted.
Right. How are they? Are they pretty secure? Nobody's been.
So far, everybody has been really cool. I've had a couple people that have postponed without a date, kind of like, we're not sure. And then I've also had a couple people that have basically said, hey, do you have these dates available? And so it actually kind of worked out because somebody moved a date, which opened up another date. And then I've had a few other people that have just.
Ooh, that's lucky. Yeah.
Oh, it happened within an hour too. So it was one of those that it was meant to be this way.
Yeah. Super lucky. I know. I think a bunch of my weddings have postponed.
Yeah. I think that's my biggest fear right now is how long this is going to continue on.
Right.
And what ramifications. A lot of my weddings, I'd say half of them are private residence. And so it's not as big
okay.
because they don't really care.
Right.
Or like whatever. Where the venues, that's kind of the wait and see moment where what are their regulations going to be going forward?
Right. Yesterday in the live stream, we with Northern Nevada, we talked about like what we have to plan on doing when these weddings start to. So, I mean, have you thought about that? Because, I mean, even though they're residents, I mean, are you like just sanitizing everything? Are you trying to go not even wireless, like some sort of handheld or boom or something where they're not touching your stuff?
Yeah, most of my stuff is pretty, self-contained. I'm pretty wireless. My speakers are wireless. I got my own little booth.
Right.
Although I'm kind of like, I've been looking at all the different places. We do, Papa Murphy's on Tuesdays because they have a heck of a deal for pizza. And we
Yeah.
went in this week and they have a shield up. Like it's
All
like
everybody does now, huh?
going to the bank, at a scary place where you're like, okay, I'm not robbing you, promise. Although
Right.
everybody's in masks and hats now. But I was thinking, wow, is that the next level to my booth? Do I have to put a guard up? Am I going to
You
have
might.
to wear, we've got some masks and stuff. I've special ordered some
Yeah.
that are a little more durable with filters. So that way, if I'm out doing stuff, but yeah, just kind of that wondering what that's going to look like, I think is the big.
Right. I for sure will be wearing a mask. I mean, I think I'm going to wear a mask as long as I can. But like we were joking yesterday, it's kind of not a joke. I think like branding out your masks would actually be kind of a
Right.
cool thing. Even just saying something down at the bottom here, DJ or whatever, just something cool. So, I have a guy in Carson actually made this shirt.
Right.
He makes like shirts, hats, he makes everything. So I'm going to talk to him about making some like branded masks with just like Jeremy Lou Photography, because we'll probably be wearing it for like a year.
Yeah, I think that as we move into the next realm, I mean, it's just kind of it's a requirement just to be safe and healthy.
Right.
And then there's also the perception side of it too. We are professionals at what we do, so we want to make sure that our guests, our clients, feel the most safe and secure. We don't want to be an issue to them.
Right. I get it. All right. Hang tight. Perfect. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Raw Focus. My name is Jeremy Lou. I have an amazing DJ buddy of mine. I'm going to talk about how we met in a little bit here. But this is Jerod A. I had to write his name in like Ebonics to the side so I could say his last name, because when you see that I tagged him in this post, you're going to look at that and be like, oh, Aragini, I got it. So Jerod is a local DJ as I know him. And we met at a couple meetings a few months ago. I think I just started going to these meetings, and then I saw this guy who was always at the meetings as well, which is actually kind of rare because even though I go to every single meeting, not everybody does. I think that was just kind of my goal for the 2020 year. And we kind of always sat around each other, and all I remember is every time he would stand up, he would say something like he likes to touch music. If it's music, he touches it. So I know that he plays, he sings, he DJs. He's an MC. So basically, yeah, everything with music is his world. But I know very little about Jerod. And but Jerod, thank you so much for coming on today, man. I totally appreciate you taking your Corona time out and hanging out with me.
My quarantine time out.
Right. I mean, it's kind of weird because like I'm using this time right now, this downtime of everybody, just to be able to talk and communicate and kind of build this podcast as well. But ultimately, I'm kind of targeting people that I'm like, hey, I don't know much about them, but how can we use this platform to either help each other or just get it out? So I'm obviously very selfish, and I'm using this platform to promote the podcast. Also, I'm hoping that you guys can be selfish too to promote your business and everything you're doing, because we're all on downtime. And I can't imagine that we're doing that much without trying to scare off people, because we don't want to contact your brides all the time and say, hey, where are you guys at? And they're kind of getting worried that, hey, oh my God, my DJ is contacting me. Should I be worried? But let me ask you, Jerod, where are you from?
A little everywhere. No, actually, born and raised in Cali. So,
what part of Cali?
Grew up in Napa. So,
sweet.
So grew up. Yeah. So, life obviously really difficult. No, actually, I grew up in foster care for a bit, and then my mom got her life back together. And, it's funny because I'm one of the great products of the foster care system, because I still have a great relationship with my family. They're still mom, dad, brother, sister. They're not outside of that realm. But then, then we ended up, my mom was actually in a pretty serious car accident, and put a lot of money on our pockets. And so we bought a house out in the country, and I lived on 39 acres growing up in Napa. So
holy crap! Did you guys they have wine? Is that what they did?
So now I drove back recently, and
right.
The property's been sold. My mother's passed, and I walked away from all of that. That's a whole nother long story. But and now it's all wineries. But when I was growing up, It's crazy because we raised starting in fourth grade, went from literally beggar to doing well, and we actually sold llamas of all things. Like really, like who does that? But
Yeah.
we did, and so yeah, we sold bread and sold llamas of all things.
I didn't even know. Does Napa still have llamas? Like, who buys llamas? What are llamas good for?
Well, really being annoying. No, they're it's kind of an exotic. I think people get it for the mystique of having them. Their wool can be used for sweaters and light goods and
Right.
stuff.
If
But
people
yeah,
are doing that, yeah.
they're I don't know. People that have too much money and time on their hands. That's who buys them.
The Napa people.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, so that's kind of where I was there till I was about 20. So music got involved in music in high school,
Right.
and never. Growing up in Napa, a lot of great perks, but probably the best perk actually was going to Napa High School because the school itself had the premier music program, probably in Northern California,
Oh,
and so it's like we got to travel all over the world, got to go to Europe, got to go to Australia, got to perform all these different places in choir and band. So, a lot of early traveling in high school. Not a lot of kids go to, perform in Ireland and London and also Sydney, Australia in high school. So,
right. Um, so then, so music started early, and then did you just did that just keep going, or did you start your DJ career then, or because you know how to play, you know how to sing, you know how to do all this stuff? How did it just kind of keep going?
So in high school, we would have these like block parties and out in the country, the block party. I mean, it's kind of funny to see country people here in Nevada that think they're country. Yet I grew up in Napa, and I wore Wrangler jeans during the morning and after school. Put my Guess jeans on to go to school because I was in Napa, had to look smart. But then, I would go home and, take care of horses and llamas and sheep and all kinds of farmish things. But we'd have these block parties during the summer months. And
Right.
of course, I had every cassette, and I'm dating myself, and 8-track.
Yeah. Oh,
And
that's dating yourself right there, man. I don't even know what an 8-track is.
Here we go. I would set up my realistic speakers.
Right.
Yeah, I live in the dream. And I would play music, and I would spin vinyl, and doing that in high school. And then into college, I actually took a different route. I was going to study musical theater because I just really loved music, loved the performance aspect of it. Phantom of the Opera was my go-to. In fact, my tattoos are very Phantom of the Opera.
Ooh. They're, I heard, what are they doing? Somewhere in Europe, they have free streaming of Phantom of the Opera going on right now.
Yeah, last weekend, Phantom of the Opera on The Show Must Go On YouTube, Andrew Lloyd Webber. This weekend, the sequel, Love Never Dies. So I've seen both shows way too many times and live. But so, yeah, I was going into music, and that was like what I was going to do. I was going to actually follow theater, and I took a detour. A lot of my life is detours. I think that's
right.
Probably people's lives. But so instead of going to become this great Broadway star that I anticipated being, humble and all, not, but I actually went into church work. So I went into being a music pastor for many years. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, talk about going music and then theater, and then boom, went into church work.
But it's still within music though, right?
Absolutely. And I got to take all of my music aspects from the creative side, drama, theater, the production aspects. If you look around, I mean, today's churches, it's a theater experience. And I was really lucky to help a lot of that kind of blossom in the Midwest, where I left California, went to the Midwest to kind of get away from the heyday. So did that, was in ministry for many years, loved it. Actually moved to Reno, Nevada after a couple different places to help launch a church. And then, through a series of events, left ministry. And in that process, I kid you not, some friends of mine said, hey, why don't you, let's go do karaoke. And I'm like, really? Come on. Who does karaoke? Really? This
Right.
is something that no one does. But actually started doing it. And in the process, met people and they started, hey, do you actually, do you do any kind of concerts or DJing or any of that? And I'm like, sure. Yeah, of course.
Right.
So
Fake it till you make it.
right. And I had done stuff off and on for friends and for parties and things like that. And little by little, it just kept taking off. And people were like, hey, would you DJ this birthday party? Would you, would you do the music for my wedding? And would you sing at the wedding? Or would you Christmas? I mean, it just kept growing. And yet, so I was doing that and kind of doing the karaoke thing.
Right.
I little crazy claim to fame. ABC did their version of The Voice and X Factor. They did a thing called Karaoke Battle USA, and I was one of the participants. And actually, state of Nevada, I was the male winner. And got to meet Joey Fatone and from NSYNC.
Oh yeah, no, bringing it back, man. I did a little NSYNC stuff that I like. So wait, all right. I mean, you did all this. So it was never meant to be DJing aspect, but every time somebody would ask you something, you're like, yeah, I can totally do that, and then do it.
Yeah, because I've got the musical knowledge. I've got a degree in music. I know I've grown up my whole life around the sound systems. I play piano, I play guitar, drums, bass, saxophone. So DJing was easy because it was taking someone else's music, and I knew what I liked. I knew what I could do, and I knew that, oh, this song should transition into this song. I'll listen to the radio station in times and I'm like, oh, it's a good transition. Or I'm like, oh my gosh, why did you choose that song to that song? Because great songs, but they don't play well together.
Right.
So
right. And that's something that you can hear that I have no idea. I mean, even like when I ride the Peloton, they're like, ride to the beat. And I'm sitting there, where the fricks? I'm just going as fast as I can. I like that. And so my history is kind of the same. Like, it was, I started shooting and then somebody was like, can you do this? And I said, yes. Can you do this? Yeah. Can you do this? Sure. And then I finally figured out what I like doing, what I didn't like doing. And I think that's kind of the beauty of the art world. Cause you're considered an artist as well. And that's where we kind of nurture and brand ourselves as basically, we have no idea what we can do until we say yes. And sometimes it's very, very bad. Luckily, it hasn't been bad for me. Luckily, everything I've done has been, okay for the time. But I'll look back at it and I'll be like, ooh, what was I doing? That is not the way to run. So when did you open up your current business? So you're a DJ. Do you live in Reno or where do you live?
Yeah, I live in Reno. I live over just shy of near Mira Loma, near Hidden Valley, kind of that area.
Oh, cool. So you're kind of close to me. I'm over by Northern Nevada Medical Center.
Yeah.
Just that back Veterans Road, man. So
Great.
You're a DJ out in Reno, Tahoe, Carson. I'm sure you travel everywhere as well. When did your business get established? And you're kind of full force on it right now. So how did that come about where you decided hey, I'm going to do weddings? Because not everybody does weddings.
Yeah. So I have a lot of friends that DJ around town, do the club stuff, and they're great at it. And I'm kind of envious of their ability to do some of the live mixing they do.
Right.
But they don't want to do weddings. And, as cheesy as this sounds, I'm a big fan of love. I mean, I love being there for those great. I love watching.
I love.
And so to be a part of that and watch really someone's most magical day of their life and be a part of that is cool. So I was doing some stuff and then I had a great conversation with a buddy of mine and he's like, so do you have a business license? And I'm like, wait, what?
Right.
Like, yeah, if you're going to start doing this, you probably need a business license. And I was like, yeah, if I'm going to do more than just a buddy's backyard, I need to take this serious. So
totally.
A couple of years ago, I think it's been 3 or 4 years now. I got the business license. I got the insurance, made sure that I was covered on that. And didn't really brand myself as much as, okay, I just knew that I was following, I want to be respectable for what the rules are. And talking to a couple of buddies of mine, they were like, you need to make sure you got insurance because somebody gets hurt, it's on you. So I got that and then did that for a while, doing 5-10 weddings a year and then all these little things here and there. And then about 2 years ago is when I really started going, I'm good at this. I really like it. And I was helping other friends out. Not only was I doing my DJ stuff, but I was subbing in for other people that were doing weddings, kind of under their guise, under their names. And I decided about a year ago to go, it's time to launch this. I'm kind of a tech geek as far as, I want my equipment to be the best. So if there's something new, I have it.
Which is incredibly dangerous for your industry, because holy shit, dude. Like, like I know a couple of DJs that it's, I was talking to, Eric over at Epic, and you can just buy so much stuff. Like, do you need a fog machine? Do you need that thing that goes in front that lights up? There's a DJ in Tahoe that has like a reverse screen that he can write on with his finger, and then it shows up, and then you can attach it to like GoPros and all that stuff. And I'm like, and that's like my world, right? Like, there's so much stuff that I can buy. Even this podcast, I'm like, I got to buy a whole new camera set for this. I don't need to do that. But it's dangerous. You just keep buying shit.
It is. You basically you just fill up the office with more stuff that, what is it? Buying stuff you don't need to impress people you don't like, who don't care anyway. So, but I just like to have the best. And as I've gone to, because I'm a live musician also, I'm a little different than your typical standard wedding DJ. So I don't just bring a DJ board. I've got a live soundboard, so I can have not only conversations with wireless mics, but maybe I'm doing a wedding here. Well, hopefully doing a wedding in June. That the gentleman is doing live music on acoustic guitar for them to walk down the aisle, and he's singing. I don't have to worry about that. My system is built for live music as well as mixing DJ. So that kind of separates me from most DJs out there, because I'm actually a musician. I created my own box that's got half DJ mixing board, half live soundboard. Which
is different, because I don't know that at all. I don't know any of those words. Even me making a podcast, I'm like, how do I get the audio from the video and put it on there? I even went to GarageBand to try to like edit the audio, and I'm like, I can't do this. So now I have to edit the video. And then I found a way to do an online conversion that takes everything from the video and just pulls out the audio. And like, even with this mic, like I'm not even like adjusting the mic as I'm going. I'm like, let's just hope that our audio levels are the same and go. But that's your world. And I think that's amazing. I don't know many, if any. I think you might be the only DJ I know that actually can play live at the same time. I'm still here. I don't know if, I really don't. I don't, I know that there's live and then there's DJs. I know a couple live DJs that can throw on like a laptop and play. So, but everything you do is digital, right? Everybody's done with CDs. Everybody's done with tapes. And 8-tracks. 8-tracks. If you can bring that back, dude, that'd be sick. Just like a case. It has to be a big case. Are you downloading the stuff as you're playing it, or do you already have everything downloaded, or do you need Wi-Fi when you're working?
I like to have Wi-Fi, because inevitably somebody comes up with something random I've never heard of. So it's fun to have that. But I think I have 10 to 15,000 songs downloaded.
Nice.
So I'm ready to go there. Making sure I've got a backup. Everything's gone digital now, so everything's on the laptop. Gotta make sure you have a flash drive. Make sure you have a secondary laptop, because inevitably, if you don't, one might crap out.
Always have a backup. Are there any songs that you like will not play, or you'll have to play whatever you're going to play, right? Because they're going to come up and the bride's going to be like, I want to play this song. But are there songs where you're like, oh my god, like there's a couple songs I hate, like YMCA at weddings. I hate it, but everybody gets on the dance floor and they know that YMCA thing. What are you hating?
I go through cycles. So there was a period of about 3 or 4 years, a period where if someone played the Cupid Shuffle, I think I was going to pull out what remaining hair I have.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it just became but it was one of those things that it was always requested. It didn't matter where you were at.
It gets people on the dance floor.
And what I discovered is the songs that I don't like, if I figured out how to actually engage them, if I did the Cupid Shuffle or taught it, if I made sure they all knew how to do the YMCA and make sure everybody's doing the C the right direction, little things like that, it got me off the being annoyed with the song and like, okay, let's enjoy the party aspect of this versus
I definitely have to get off of that. I mean, that's my thing. Like, if somebody plays a YMCA, I'm out there shooting it anyways. It's just one of
Right.
those things where I'm like, there's so many other good songs, but also like when Cupid Shuffle comes along, I've learned how to do it backwards because when I'm
Yeah.
shooting people, I have to go, when they go left, I go right, and then I'm
Yeah.
shooting the whole time, and then I have to like run around. So if you work a wedding with me and you play that song, you're going to see me on the dance floor running crazy for the 3 or 4 minutes that it goes.
Right.
And that's just kind of where it's at right now. Um, I mean, do you still love DJing weddings, or um, I don't know. Like, I feel like at a point everybody kind of dies out on it. They feel like they can be doing something better, or do you still feel like weddings are your bag? Like you love it?
I'm a 50-50 guy. I love weddings because I love like I said, I love love. I love the concept of
Love.
starting and seeing that relationship hit that point of kind of a fresh new beginning. Where my heart and my passion is always live performance. Live music. I still have a passion for church music. Worship music is probably my backup. Like when I sit down at the piano, that's
Right.
where I default. But as far as I know a lot of DJs that, man, they don't want to do weddings anymore, but it's the income. I love weddings. I really
That's what I'm
do.
saying, right? Yeah. I think that
I
happens a
like,
lot.
and I like the vendor aspect of it. And I think that I've seen that over the last couple of years. Instead of everybody competing with each other, it feels like everybody's more trying to, hey, we are all friends in this. You
Right.
and I to know each other because of this. And it's been really great. I've got several other DJs that if I'm busy on an event, I will, hand
That's
off.
the easiest way to make money. I mean, it's all about referrals. Any vendor that, and I think I talk about and to vendors a lot. That's kind of like my world now since I closed my studio. But I feel like if vendors aren't using other vendors, they're kind of killing themselves within the business, like referring out, just being kind. There's no need to knock other vendors. We all can't do everything. But yeah, if anybody's that negative person, I'll automatically just kind of like, like it's cool. Like I'm good with, without talking to you. Jerod, are you on TikTok?
I haven't done TikTok. I'm kind of scared because I have an addictive personality.
Right.
And I watch people and I'm thinking, okay, sometimes I watch it for the train wreck. Love it. I mean, some of these things are just wow. And then others, I'm like, some of these guys are like pretty legit. These guys are, somebody practiced this for 3 hours before they posted it.
That's the scary part right there, because that's a waste of your day.
It's the 4,000 pictures for the perfect selfie on Instagram. But I haven't done it because I am afraid of. It's really why I stepped away from playing video games because let's be honest. When the new Halo comes out, no one's going to see me for 2 days. I will get that game. It just So I haven't done it because I know myself. I'm bad enough. I mean, my friends will all tell you I'm on Facebook and Instagram more than I should be. They're probably right on that, but
I think it's I think I see your posts. I mean, I see your posts, but yeah, I don't think it's anything bad. But I think you use Facebook to kind of air. You're kind of, you speak out what you're feeling, and I used to do that a ton. And so what I do now is I'll actually type something out, and then I'll read it. And then I'll let it sit for like 20 minutes before I actually like post it. And if I come back 20 minutes, an hour later, or whatever, and I'm like, I'm still feeling that way, then I'll post it. A lot of times, I'll post something, and if somebody completely comes at me, I'll just delete the post. Like, I don't need that drama. Exactly. One thing I will say about you, though, is I think I'm going to give you a push towards TikTok, man. I started it like a month and a half ago.
I know. I love watching
business. Right. And so I only do one post a day, and sometimes that's my goal. So I have an addictive personality too. I'm very OCD. I play video games, but like even my daily list of stuff to do in the front of the computer, I have to do these certain things. So TikTok, I do one TikTok a day, and it's not really to gain followers or gain whatever. It's just to kind of keep that going, give me an outlet. But the things that you can do, even just playing a song or lip syncing to something, or even just singing something live and putting it up there for 30 seconds to a minute, I think will be very kind of open and beneficial for you. And you can spend your time looking at other things, but also I think it's good for business. I think it's good because it's very musical of an app.
Right.
That if you're a DJ, you're kind of on there already. I think it works. And then you can create if you get to the point where you create your own stuff, audio that people are doing. it might be good. But I would look into some TikToks, man. I would just do one, see what happens.
All right. You convinced me. By the what is it? By the end of the week, I'll have one up. There you go. Probably by the end of the day, to be real honest with you. But
do it, dude.
Do it. Just you can do it.
The other thing I'm noticing is on your social media, you're working out, right?
Yeah.
I saw some boxing stuff going on.
Yeah. So the story of my health, actually, which is funny because I'm talking to a couple other people about their podcasts about, health and the nutrition rookie who came to one of the Northern Nevada things.
Right.
Yeah. So she and I touch base, and she's awesome. And so we're actually gonna talk, I think, this weekend a little bit. But yeah, so I was a skinny kid growing up. I mean,
right.
I kid you not. So little unique claim to fame too. I was a Michael Jackson impersonator. That's how skinny I was. Okay.
Wait, can you?
I could still do it, but it looked like more like the old Elvis doing it, not yeah. So I was super skinny. I graduated high school at 101 pounds. I mean, okay. But then I got married, then I got kids. Every time, we had a kid, I put on like 30 some odd pounds. Then I went through my divorce, and I love food, but I didn't have any control on portions. So I'd just keep eating and eating and eating. And I got up to 260 pounds. I mean, that's a big kid for 5'8". So I started, I kid you not, I was watching those P90X commercials, making fun of them. And I'm like, who's going to do this? No one. But I was like, okay, so after the third time watching it in a row, eating my Doritos.
Right.
That was my Sunday. Just, this guy's great.
Yeah. Watching it. Yeah.
Right. But he said something like, this will be the hardest workout you've ever done. And I respected the honesty. So I borrowed it from a friend of mine, started doing it.
Which class was it? Was it P90X?
P90X, the original.
Right.
So I went from 260 all the way down to 176. And I busted butt. Then I got in a car accident and gave up, right? Got back up to 230s, 220s.
Right.
And so, I just kind of, and then I found out I was pre-diabetic. Wow, that was a wake-up call. Time to take care of your health and what you're eating. So dropped some weight, got down to, again, 190-ish. Not ideal, but still decent. Hit some things, in life over the holidays this last year, and, started putting some weight back on. And then Beachbody came out with this new 10 rounds program, and it's a boxing program. And I've always thought it'd be kind of badass to box. Like we're all Rocky, let's be honest. The Rocky music comes on, we're all just ready to go. And
and everybody, like every guy feels like they can, just get up there and
ready for a fight. Yeah. So I started doing this, and I love it. I'm on week 6 of it right now.
Very cool.
While I'm not the most coordinated guy, it's been pretty cool to do something different. So between original P90X, I think this program's probably my second thing. And you can do it at home. The cool thing is, you throw it on your laptop or Apple TV or Roku, whatever you're using, and you can do it at home, and you can look like a complete buffoon.
So I was with P90X for a while. I did with Tony Horton. I did the original P90X, and then the second one. I did like the 10-minute workout, the 30-minute workout or something with the crazy guy. And then every time you're working out, there's always a guy with one leg working out that's like doing it way better than you.
Right? How humiliating is that?
Yeah, so they're like, this guy with one leg, and he just keep mentioning, this guy with one leg's killing it.
That's my excuse.
Right. I'm using him. And then they always have the modifier if you need it. So I did a ton of those, worked out at home. I still like working at the gym, but right now I'm on the Peloton. So I'm doing the Peloton like 3 or 4 days a week, and then I'm lifting at home. So I have a Gorilla Bow, and obviously the gyms are closed, but I've always wanted to work out at home. But it's hard for me because of that self-motivation.
Yeah.
One thing with the boxing, though, have you heard of egg weights?
No.
So I did a review of these. I bought some, and it's called egg weights, but basically they go on your finger, and you can look up egg weights, and then they're like 1, 2, 4, 5, 10 pounds, and you hold them in your hands like this, but they stick on like rings. And so basically as you're boxing, it adds like an extra 2 pounds per arm. and they never come off your hand. So I have a couple of them upstairs where I have the mirror, and there's boxing classes. So I have a couple of them, but you can use them while walking, but it adds like 2 pounds and it builds your shoulders while you're working out. Yeah.
That's the one thing that I really thought it was kind of unique with this program, because I was like, wait, I always thought these guys did everything. I didn't realize how much cardiovascular boxing is. These things are 45 minutes.
It's all, yeah.
And it's so much footwork and leg work. I mean, people think it's just throwing a punch, but to do it right. But I'm loving it. And it's also good for the mental side of it. Like, we're all in this quarantine thing where the only time I get out is to basically, run a Papa Murphy's and do a curbside pickup.
Right.
The only other person outside of those people, like I see on social media, I see my son, who happens to, he lives with me, but he works in the healthcare community. He's works as a patient transport while he's taking his ENT classes. So it's like, him going to work, he comes home, I grill him about his day. He's probably annoyed the crap out of it, but that way I can be like, what's it like out there?
Right. Tell us.
Tell
us. So let's transition into that. How, so we kind of talked about it. I found out that you have a day job on top of what you do, which keeps you super busy. Now, how has the coronavirus, the COVID, everything, how is that affecting you guys? How is it changing kind of your daily life?
It's been really unique because for the first, once it kind of hit, and I think everybody panicked, I was kind of one of those people. I wasn't sure what to make of this because we'd never seen anything like this. I mean, we read about stuff, the Great Depression and things like that, but we just never lived through anything like this. And so I basically my son got sick. We thought it was COVID. We weren't sure. It was just a flu, ironically, the timing. So I stayed out of work because we were self-quarantined for 2 weeks. During that time, my day job allowed me to transition to work at home. What I did not realize is mentally, I'm an outgoing type A personality, extrovert. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize how much just seeing people affected me. Like, I could easily, for a day, I'm good at just pulling back and not talking to anybody, staying off the phone. But for day after day, then all of a sudden my psyche started, I've had some battles with depression and anxiety over my life. Sometimes pretty bad, sometimes not so bad at all. But it's played some games on me this time around. It's kind of like, I didn't realize, like I said, how much I need social interaction, and social media is not social interaction. It's a facade. So it's been a unique thing. I've done a lot more FaceTimes with people, phone calls, like actually who picks up a phone and talks anymore?
I don't call anybody. Yeah, I don't. I have to schedule it. Like if you call me without notice, like I won't pick it up. I'm not ready.
Right. Same here. But it's funny because people text me now. They're smart. Like, want to FaceTime? And I'm like, yes or no. I mean, sometimes it's I need that interaction. I need to have someone to vent. Like, oh my gosh, did you watch the press briefing? Oh, did you hear that this was I'm a very politically, I keep up on all that, both sides of it. But yeah, it's done some unique things, but geez, I've got a lot of yard work done,
Right. So, I mean, yeah, that's kind of the side thing, right? Like I started this podcast when I could. I was already Zooming and talking to people. So I started the podcast. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do today. My wife doesn't know it, but I went to Lowe's right before this. I got invited to a BNI meeting this morning via Zoom. So I got up at like 6, which, oh my God, I haven't done in like a month. So I've been getting up at like 8. And so I did this BNI meeting kind of like half asleep. And then I went to Lowe's because somebody tagged me in a picture. So I'm building a cardboard slide later today. So I got a bunch of like moving boxes. So I'm going to build a cardboard slide. So I'll post that. But like, it's like crap like that I'm like, what do I do with my day? But I'm still emailing. I'm still editing. I'm still just catching up with people. So I feel like I'm still working. I'm just not shooting. Are you binge watching anything right now? Are you catching anything on the streams?
So what's kind of unique is again, addictive personality. So I can say I have yet to watch The Tiger King because I'm afraid.
It's not that long though.
Yeah, it scares me to consume my days with that. No, we've actually, so I get up around 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning because it's Oh, I know.
Gross.
And it is horrible. But ever since talking to Kaylee about the nutrition rookie, and
Yeah.
she did that, I was like, I can do that. And it took me like a month and a half to do it. So it wasn't something I've done for a long period. And now, even on the weekends, I wake up. So I get up, I do my workout, but then I work my day job from home remotely, and then work out again sometimes. But in the evenings, after I cook dinner and whatnot, we've gone back and we've started watching all of the Star Wars in sequence.
I'm here now. Yeah, I'm on episode 4, so I'm back with like Harrison Ford. So I'm episode 4 now. So I'm up to there.
So we just got up. So and my son and I, it's funny because I've introduced him to Star Wars, and yet he has become vastly more knowledgeable about it than I have. So between that, like while we're eating, we'll watch like the Clone Wars, the cartoon.
And so it's in between, right? It's in between some of the episodes,
2 and 3, and so it's been really interesting. So we're finally through episode 6 as of last night. I've also done I've watched all the Marvel movies in sequence.
I did that like 2 months ago in sequence.
Yep, that's so I kind of afraid to jump into some of these other realms because
Tiger King is pretty simple. It's a good show. It's not as addictive as people think because you kind of already know what's going to happen via the first episode. It's just how it gets there, right? So but you have to watch it. You have to. It's pop modern now, so you're going to like be at a wedding and somebody's going to talk about Carol Baskin, and you're going to be like, "What is who's Carol Baskin? Why is she so important?" And then they just a supplement episode, right? She just know that she killed her husband, and basically her husband went missing, and nobody cared. And so the whole thing is, as a Tiger King guy, the main character, he's like, he just goes against her, and he's basically just saying, "Where's your husband?" And the police don't care. Nobody cares. He's like, "Where's your husband? You killed your husband. You fed him to the animals." And she's like, "No, if you want to feed something to an animal, you got to like rub them in like fish oil or something." And basically everybody's like, "What are you talking? Like, how do you know that?" Yeah. So it's a good show, but right. I would definitely get on that. I got the DC universe a couple days ago. So now I'm watching the show Titans. And which is about Teen Titans, but it's super like gory. You know how they went and did like gory, who did it? Gory Batman or gory something. So there's a lot of blood and stuff.
How is that? Because like my favorite character of all time, so I've loved 2 characters, Deadpool before he was popular, but Nightwing, that's my jam.
Right. So Titans takes place when Robin is leaving Batman. Then he becomes meets all the characters of the Titans as he's becoming Nightwing. So then he like burns his suit like halfway through the first season. So I just started the second season. Yeah. And if you get the streaming live on like DC, you get a week free. You can probably watch it in the week.
I probably could easily.
And then it's like $8 a month or something. But then, I'm on like day 3 of my 7 days. So I'm going to leave. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now. We're using this time. We only have hopefully like 10 days or so, 9 days until the quarantine's gone. I know the governor is going to be talking about it tonight at 5, and I think he's going to release some information that we need to know.
So hopefully, I get a haircut. I mean, despite the fact that I'm balding, I've got gel and crap in this to hold it down because I got the Greg Brady thing going on. It ain't right. And my
wife does hair, so I'm lucky, but I've been wearing a hat most days. That's how people know if I showered or not for the day.
Oh, nice. I like that. Good. Well, it's funny because I've been working at home, and I kid you not, my son walks down the staircase today, and he's like, "Oh, you got dressed." I'm like, wow, is that the precedent I've set for the last 4 weeks that I wear clothes, don't get me wrong, but it's different wearing, a beat up t-shirt and jammy bottoms versus actually getting up and putting on what my normal outfit is, my black VT.
I know. I'll throw on jeans or something, and my wife's like, "Where you going?" And I'm like, "I'm just getting dressed, babe. Like I can't be in PJs. I hate being in like regular PJs, and I never am. So usually I'm dressed until like nighttime, and then I'll throw on some shorts or something. Yeah. But that's my world, and that's what I like doing. So let's talk about. All right, so you're working out, losing weight right now. How's your diet?
That's finally getting in check.
What are you changing? What are you doing? That's because you're
Well,
working with Tally on this stuff, right?
yeah, I'm going to go over all this. But she's great. I mean, woman gets up at 4:30 every day and works
Yeah.
out. She's a beast. But yeah, for me, portion control is a huge part of it. That's the biggest thing. I can get a family size Papa Murphy's and down it without a second thought.
I think we all can. Yeah, I can definitely gorge and then feel guilty as I'm doing it, but I'll finish it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, this is the most horrible thing
I
ever.
can't do this.
Yeah. And so portion control has been huge. And then, for the most part, I try to stay high protein, low carb when I can. One of the things that I'm a part of a men's group with my church, and it's called SoulCon. And they really focused on kind of the mind, body, soul, spirit aspect. But the nutrition side of it is pretty cool because they really focus on like no carbs after 3, focus on black coffee. So you're not just putting all these extra sugars and carbs into your body all the time. And I think that's a good.
Do you feel like that's working?
Yeah, for me, it really does. And the great thing about life is everybody's a little different. So what works for me is not going to, I mean, people go, wow, I can't believe you do this and you do that. And I'm like, I've had to work at it. I've had to figure out, I've done all the fad diets. I know which ones work for me and which ones make me want to shoot myself. So, so this works for me, high protein, low carb. I love my coffee. I drink mine all day long. Cool. In fact, it'll be late at night, like 8 o'clock at night. And I'm like, oh, I'll get some coffee. You want decaf? No.
Coffee doesn't affect me like it affects other people. Like I can drink it right before bed and then go to bed. I don't even know if it helps me during the day or what, but like I don't know. Like I don't have to have coffee at all. I feel fine. But if I have coffee, I feel fine. Like I don't know.
I think I probably have a little addiction there. I get a little headache if I go a day or two without it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so eating healthy, I'll say this, being under this quarantine, it's less fast food. So it's a lot more home cooked. So that's been good too. I mean, you're eating a lot more, although it is Tuesday, so we do the $10
Papa Murphy's tonight.
Yeah. I think we've done that for years.
What do you get in your pizza?
Always a cowboy.
What's a cowboy. What is? I don't know what a cowboy is. What is a cowboy?
Oh, all right, so you're in Nevada. How do you?
Is it just meat?
It's basically meat. It's got some pepperoni and some sausage, olives. Think of a combination without the green stuff. So no peppers or anything like that. I love combo, but
yeah, you just need the meat.
And it's got some different seasonings and oregano and Parmesan cheese also sprinkled. It's a family favorite.
That sounds delicious.
It is. Well,
and it's only $10.
$10, and they do these when I'm really being good because it is after 3 o'clock. I shouldn't be doing the carb thing, but they do keto pizzas too, where it's basically all the toppings in a plastic thing that you can actually put. It's a plastic you can put in your oven. So you can cook in it, and
is there cheese on it?
Yeah.
Is that how it kind of sticks together?
Kind of, yeah. Kind of. It looks more like a really thin lasagna in a way when you cook it. But I just gorge myself. Well, because the nice thing is, think about this: how much toppings on pizza? Not very much compared to bread. So when I'm being a good health nut, I scrape my toppings off. Tonight I may not be so good.
I think if you're gonna do it, just do it. I think like when somebody goes and they're like, I'm gonna have like supersize number 1 at McDonald's with a Diet Coke. I'm like, just go all out if you're gonna do it, and then that's just what it is. I go all out on everything. So I'm a month now. I'm vegan, and so I haven't had meat, dairy, eggs, fish. I haven't had anything. And that's been my number one thing. So it was definitely a scary thing for me to do, but I feel great. I feel awesome. I just have my B12 supplements, and every day we're just eating healthier.
When I'm eating clean, I'm not sluggish. That's and I don't really realize it till later. So like if I'm eating super clean, I've eaten vegan before, and I've done a lot of these other different styles of food, and all of them are great in some level because they keep your system cleaned out.
Right.
And where it's when you're getting all those complex carbohydrates and sugars on a consistent, that's where the bloating happens. I don't feel good, the headaches. My biggest college addiction is become my biggest nemesis. I love Top Ramen. I mean, it is amazing. I don't know who came up with this crack, but the amount of salts and stuff in it, like
Have you gone to like a ramen place in Reno?
Yeah, I mean, I've had pho, but not like an actual ramen
So,
place.
EG, God, I don't know, 4 or something. It's next to Doughboy Donuts in Reno, South Reno.
Oh yeah, South Reno.
They do ramen, and there's so I would go there if you like ramen because it's delicious. I mean, you can get it to go and all that stuff.
Nice.
That's kind of where it's at. So I've been talking to a lot of vendors lately, and we've been talking wedding-wise on what we need to plan on, to what to expect. Somebody commented here, Karen Wood commented that she thinks that the governor is going to extend the quarantine, the mandate. And so regardless, let's say a few months from now, 2 or 3 months, we are allowed to start doing weddings normally now, like, in normal venues. How do you think that's going to change? What do you anticipate or envision weddings are going to be like? I have a couple thoughts, but I'd love to hear what you're thinking.
I think that our country right now overall is, I mean, I'm not going to just say politically divided, but I think we're also very,
everything.
Half the country is very much like, let's stay at home. Let's work this thing out and make sure we go back to work and socialing when it's time. As I touch my face, I will use sanitizer.
You're in your own home. I'm going to lick my hand right now. So,
and the other half is, we see this go back to work. I think this is a mentality that's probably going to carry on for a while. And even when the industry kind of gets back, because let's be honest, the industry's at a halt. I mean, like there's I've seen a couple remote weddings, which never even thought of that, which was crazy via Zoom. But I think that, I think they're still going to see that. You're going to see some people that are very skeptical. Yeah, we're going to the wedding, but I'm going to not be with everybody. I'm not going to dance. I'm going to support my family, my friend, the bride and groom, but I'll be in a mask and they'll step back. So I think there's a mentality that's going to carry on even once everybody else is ready to go back. Just because the doors open doesn't mean everybody's ready to. So I think that there's going to be some challenges for brides and grooms that want these big weddings. I think those are going to be gone for a while. Not just because venue. I think when venues say yes, you can come back and bring 200 people. I think there's a fear out there that just because, I mean, we were seeing some cycles of a second round of the virus hitting. So, I'm really cautiously optimistic. My job is interactive as a DJ, but a lot of it can be done from my DJ booth or from a wireless microphone. I have a real easy ability to be socially distant, but it also challenges it because as a DJ, a lot of what I do too is engagement. I check in with the bride all the time. My philosophy is, and I tell my brides this, it doesn't matter if it's at a bridal fair or a one-on-one consult. I don't care who's paying. I work for you. That's what
exactly. I never get bridezillas. I always get momzillas, who I never usually meet until the wedding day. And I'm like, I've done everything with the bride, but and then the mom's always like, hey, make sure you get a picture of that. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to get that picture.
Or my favorite's when somebody comes up and goes, oh, the bride wants this. And I always tell the brides in advance, I work for you if there's something you don't want. So I think that dynamic could shift a little where obviously depending on the bride, maybe the interaction's less, depending on the venue. I could see some venues setting up like, hey, this is where this is going and you are not to cross.
Right. But what about like dancing? I mean, what about like when you have to set up like, say, a group photo or dancing, or like, do you anticipate you having to come up with reminders or ways to be like, hey guys, just remember 6 feet apart from each other when you're dancing, just don't be close to other people. Like that's the thing that's going to annoy the crap out of me.
I think that's going to be hard because I feel like there's again a fine line. I have some brides already that I have one bride specifically. She called me making sure that, hey, are you are you still good for this date, regardless of what's going on? They're
Right.
getting married on a private property. They're doing the wedding in a barn and then the reception's in a tent. And they're like, are you okay with all of that? I'm like, I'm fine with that. But then there's that fine line of going, I have to make sure I really understand what the bride and groom want, but be sensitive to the rest of the world too, because people want to dance, but at the same time, they're like, there is that line, you know,
Right.
are people going to be like, guys, if you want to come on the dance floor, you got to wear your mask, you know? So
Right.
I think
Or
part of
are
that,
you even allowed to come into the venue without a mask? Like, do you need, you know, do we
right?
have to have masks supplied, ready to go? And what if somebody starts coughing? Are we booting them out? So that's the stuff that like we don't think about. And I feel like as vendors, we're going to be looked upon as like the bad guy of it. Especially if like it's a venue that doesn't really have a coordinator, just has like a manager or something. We're going to have to be like, guys, remember, otherwise if the data goes up, if they say that, hey, large gatherings or weddings or whatever, we're seeing more of the virus spreading through there, they're going to just shut that crap down right away. And we don't
Oh
want
yeah,
that.
without a doubt. And I think that that's another thing too, is one thing as a DJ, I am a lot of times the day of coordinator. I'm
Mm-hmm.
the one who, photographer's wedding, you know, okay, we're doing this at what time, and I make
Yeah.
sure everything happens.
The reception's your world, right? I always give the DJ, dude, just give me 5-minute notice for everything, but you're running the show. I'm cool.
So even if the venue goes crappy, it's on me to make sure that they know that, you know, in a positive, hey guys, just a reminder, you want to do this or do this, and this is happening. So I feel like in a sense, given my position as a wedding DJ, in a sense, I think all of us out there, I mean, got friends that are DJs, we're a target. We're going to be, somebody gets ticked off because we have to address social distancing. Well, that DJ was a real jerk, you know? So, and it's like trying, so I think we have to almost practice, I hate to say it that way, but almost like a musician would practice over and over, try different ways of saying something, because we're going to have to address some of these hard things. And we are the point person because we have the microphone.
Right. And I think that's ultimately it. I've worked with a few, I've worked with a couple of DJs who don't kind of take that effort, and then I have to take that effort, and I hate it. I hate announcing. I've had, my horror stories with DJs. What about those couples what do you say to those couples that are, and this is just in general, that are cool with using an iPod or their phone to plug into a Bluetooth speaker for their wedding? What is your like rebuttal, or what's your way of being like, hey, no, this is why you need a DJ?
Yeah, no, actually I have a great example of that. So I talked to a couple about doing a wedding. This was back in the fall. They were getting married on New Year's Day. And money became kind of an issue with them, which always becomes an issue with somebody just because weddings are expensive.
Right.
And so they decided last minute, hey, I think we're going to go with the iPod thing and whatnot. And, at the same time, you don't want to be like, well, that was just a dumb choice. Why? But you want to be respectful. Through the course of conversation and some other friends that had also come in and said, hey, you really need to hire this guy. This guy's going to do good. So came in, brought my setup, and then afterwards had an amazing conversation with the bride. And she's like, wow, we had no idea what you did. We knew you played music, but you made sure everything went from point A to point B. I sat down with her. She wanted a certain version of a song that was only available on YouTube, but obviously there was no iTunes library for it.
Right.
She's like, I really like this song. We just, YouTube Music has it. You pull it out, you download it, put it on my hard drive. And because I'm wireless during the ceremony, my system's all up front. I stand in the back so I can look and make sure, hey, is the bride ready? Are we good to go? And once I got her smile, boom, hit play on my iPad. She walked down. She was like, she was just so amazed afterwards she's like, not only did you pick the perfect music, but you were able to orchestrate every little aspect. I emceed a lot of it. I also knew a lot of people at the wedding. So when certain things came out, like I knew because, oh, hey, I know that is a buddy of mine. And I said, we need to move to a slow song anyway, just because everybody's been up there. And I like couples. So I walked up to him and said, hey, what what song was your first dance at your wedding?
Right.
And oh, this song. Boom. 2 songs later, I played it. Well, it happened to be a couple other people's first song at their wedding too. So, being aware of that, having that constant conversation, even while you're there, anybody can buy an iPod or plug in their iPhone. And
right. Stream music, play with whatever.
But the problem is you're not sensitive to what's going on, because if you have an iPod and someone goes, oh, I want to hear Cupid Shuffle, boom, and they're playing Cupid Shuffle, and then like nobody's dancing, which obviously would never happen.
Right.
How do you make that awkward transition out of a song if you're just going, oh, this is not on my...
Right. Normally they just play the whole song, whatever happens, and then you play the next song, just kind of at like a house party. I've always said, like, I would rather have an MC. All I care about is an MC at a wedding. And that's my biggest point. It's like we need people to transition people into doing things, when to get drinks, when to come back, when the first dance is happening, just alertness. And I think people that don't have a DJ lose out on that. They just don't know. I think a lot of couples just don't realize how much a DJ actually does and how much they actually help. So they're always top of my list.
Yeah, it's huge. I was an MC at the Silver Legacy for a year. Which was fun. In fact, occasionally I still hear my voice roll around in that place when I go. But to stand there and make live announcements, even for people that are winning, cash prizes and things like that, and have that ladies and gentlemen kind of voice. Obviously, you would never do that at a wedding. But to know, okay, this is happening, so somebody needs to do more than just like, okay, table 1, you can go get your food now. I mean, you need to have someone who can engage a crowd and read a crowd.
Right.
I think that's the key thing is, and I know myself and a few other friends that are DJs, I think that's some of our strengths is we can not only do what we do, but we can read the crowd, because I even ask in my questionnaire, how engaged do you want me to be? I've had some people go, we need this thing to just blow the MF and roof off this place.
Right.
And people are like, I just need something to make, very correct. Okay, we're going to be going, so you have to know and be able to do it. A lot of people think that they can be an extrovert. They're not. They just can't do it. Okay.
I am not. I get nervous. I get scared. I'm an introvert. So I'm totally cool with being behind the scenes, which is why I'm a photographer. I like, hiding behind my camera. If people see me, if I make a click and they hear me and they look at me, I'm like, oh shit, like gonna go hide.
Like, no!
Wasn't me. Like, I got one job, guys. I'm just gonna do this over here. And that's what I like doing. Jerod, we have like 5 minutes left here.
Sure.
What I want to do is I want to wrap up with you kind of pimping yourself out here. I know you're great at what you do, but a lot of people that are watching this and a lot of people that will hear this on the podcast. And for those of you that are listening, the podcast is called Raw Focus. You can find it on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere that you find your podcasts. It'd be great to subscribe, share, rate, all that fun stuff. Only 5 stars, though. That'd be great. I want you to let the people know about you, how to find you, and all that stuff. So ready, set, go.
Excellent. Well, I am Jerod A, and I'm self-branded. So my brand is Jerod A Music. And for those people, like we talked about at the beginning, how to say my last name, it's just like saying you are a genie. It's an accusation. So can't say it wrong now. You know better. But yeah, you can find me at JerodAGeniemusic.com. That's my website. And I mean, not only do I do weddings, but I do, corporate events. I love corporate events. They're super fun. Christmas parties, birthday parties, you name it, I do it. Like we talked about, I touch music. I love it. It's my passion. You can also find me on Facebook, Jerod A Music. Definitely go like that. Check it out. Most of my brides not only check that out and like that, but a friend requests me, which is great. Also find me on Instagram. If you find my personal stuff, it's just Jerod A.
Right.
That's easy. But for those of you guys who are listening to it, like, okay, that's a weird name, so I'm gonna actually spell it because it sounds kind of crazy, but it's a weird spelling for both. So first name Jerod, not your typical. It's Jerod. Should be spelled like Jerod, but it's not. And then Aragini, kind of weird, but it's ARREGUINI. So you can check that out. I mean, it's once you start with the ARR, trust me,
it'll should pop up. So I have your name tagged on this Facebook Live, and then in the podcast itself, it'll be in all the show notes, and that's how we're gonna name your episode is going to be your name. So they'll be able to find it hopefully just by that.
Clicking on it, yeah. And then as far as, literally, whether it's live music, whether it's DJ, whether it's MC work, I've done them all, and I love doing them all. So I've done corporate events where I'm just the MC. There's no DJ involved. I've done events where I'm just playing acoustic guitar or piano. So I've had the privilege of playing and singing on a lot of different CDs and records, to date myself a little bit. No 8-tracks. But I love to talk to brides and grooms. I think it's important to include the groom on, get their thoughts, other than just showing up because they're like, yeah, whatever, I'm good. I'm just paying for it. But Jerod A Music. You can find me online. Like I said, haven't ventured into, well, I did Twitter for a while and then became too political.
I can't do Twitter. I don't know why. I don't know how it works.
But it sounds like I'm going to be jumping on TikTok. So I'm sure that Jerod.
Dude, get on TikTok. Find me. I need another follower.
There you go.
Building up my brand. But I want to see the music stuff. I want you to show people what you're doing.
Love to.
One a day would make your life a lot easier, and that way you can keep it going. Jerod, I thank you so much for being part of this podcast today. You have an amazing talent. Just from what I know of you, you hosted the last bridal fair that we did before all bridal fairs were done, which is a huge thing. You not only had to run your booth, but you had to run fashion show and everything. So you kind of had your tech and everything was kind of put together. So I appreciate you taking the time, and I support you, and you're on my list for referrals. I don't usually tell people that they're on the list. So when everything starts to come out and push, hopefully you'll get some more weddings based off of vendor referrals. So thank you so much for your time today, buddy.
Thank you.
Awesome.
It's been a blast. Love getting to know you.
Yeah. So stay on real quick. I'm going to stop the live stream. Awesome. Thanks, dude. How was it?
That was fun. That was a blast. I hope I didn't talk too much. I feel like all I did was talk.
That's literally what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to talk. And if I have to run out of crap to say, like so far I haven't, but that's my fear. Like if somebody just stops talking, they're like, yeah, I have one answer. I'm like, okay, but like I said, I didn't even come up with like a list of questions for you. I just kind of kept talking, which actually is rare. So it worked out pretty well. And I know you like to talk.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we did it.
I'm a natural talker.
What do you got going on the rest of the day?
Got to get back to the day job a little bit here.
Cool.
And Papa Murphy's, man.
That's right. What time do you eat? Is it dinner or no?
Yeah, I'll do dinner. So what I'll do is I'll work. My day job has us, because we're remote, but they're monitoring us. So we'll be 7 to 4. And then so I'll work out from 4 to 5 because I was lazy. I didn't want to work out this morning and be tired for this.
Right.
So then I'll work out at 4 o'clock, go pick it up at 5, come home and veg.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah, today's a Peloton day for me, so I got to find a good 45 minutes today to jump on the bike.
There you go.
Awesome, buddy. All right, well, you can end the meeting anytime. I appreciate it. And when everything kind of gets settled back again, let's touch base and see how we can push each other.
Absolutely, man.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
All right, take care. I'll figure out how to get out of this.